Hey guys, I'm going to take you through gauging a bolt head. So at the moment we're making these bolt heads and this is a complicated part. So every time one comes off the machine, we run it through a sequence of gauges to ensure that when it gets down to the gun makers, everything's going to run smooth. Now, I've got my drawing here to reference for all the dimensions and we're just going to start on the left and work our way through it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the distance from the face that our striker rests against to the bolt face itself. So I place the ball bearing there, put it in the mic, reference my drawing, and that is absolutely spot on. The next check is our ejected depth. Now there's a mark on this gauge that I can reference to make sure that it's going down the correct amount, which it is. Our extractor pinhole, green means go, red shouldn't. Next is the bolt head retaining pinhole. Same theory, green should go, red should not. The next check is an assembly test. So we have this gauge here, we put it on with the red side first. And then we place this pin through, and this pin shouldn't run, which it doesn't. Pull that out, flip it around to the green side, the pin should run. And provided the pin runs, we do a last check, which is a simulated firing pin, and that should run through and should be smooth, which it is. Remove that. Now, if you guys have been following a lot of our stuff, you'll know that our bolt heads are made with a buttress thread. So when that bolt moves into the breeched position and when it needs to rotate shut, we've got 5 lugs that need to align perfectly over the lugs in the barrel extension. So what we've got to measure here is the timing to make sure they're timed correct. So we have our timing gauge here. We rotate the bolt head into it, and using the timing pin, that should stop bang on between these lines, which it does. So that checks the tolerance of our buttress thread and also the timing. Remove that. Next, this bolt head is a magnum, so we've got our magnum sized breech face gauge. Again, green should go, red should not. And the final gauge check is the outer profile acceptance. So this is effectively simulating the receiver. So that should move through there without any issue. So that's fine. Every bolt head will go through these gauges. This is what we call a gauge zoo. Then every 10th bolt head, we go into a more in-depth check. Now the purpose of that is to effectively qualify the gauges so that what we're experiencing when we gauge the part is actually true. So we're going into a more in-depth measurement. Here I've got a digital micrometer where I'm going to measure the outside diameter of the body of the bolt. Again, referencing my drawing, I can see that that's perfect. Then I'm going to measure the tail end, which slides into the bolt body. Again, bang on. Then we're going to do another check, which is the diameter of our bolt head retaining pinhole. Very happy. And then finally, the position of the bolt head retaining pinhole versus the breeching face under here, and that should read 0, which it does. And this whole gauging system is designed and manufactured right here by us.